Hello and welcome to the 2021 2-2 conference. I hope your semester is off to a good start and that you are staying healthy and safe in these uncertain times. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Landon Pirius and I'm the Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Affairs at the Colorado Community College System here in Denver. I had hoped, of course, that we would have the opportunity to do the 2-2 meeting in person this year. But unfortunately, with the conditions with the pandemic, it just doesn't allow for us to get together in person. So now I'm hopeful that we'll have the opportunity next fall to be able to get together in person. I'm going to give you two presentations today. The first is going to be a high-level overview of some of the larger projects going on here at the system so that you have a sense of what's going on. And I'm also going to give you a high-level overview of the Colorado Online Initiative, which I'm sure many of you know about and are anxious to hear a little bit more about. In both cases, you'll get to see follow-up videos. One will come from Dan and Job, and he'll focus a little bit more on some of the initiatives that I talk about, as well as a few of the logistics of this conference itself. And another video you'll see from Tammy Verkateren, who's our director for the Colorado Online project. She comes to us from Front Range Community College, and she'll go a little bit deeper into the timeline and next steps for Colorado Online. So with that, I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint presentation with a few slides and walk through those for you. I'd first like to start with an overview of some of the large projects that we have going on in the state, some of which are occurring at all of our colleges and some are occurring at some of our colleges. And the first one is our law enforcement curriculum review. On the heels of a number of high-profile incidents between law enforcement officers and community, both nationally and in the state of Colorado, we decided to embark on a review of our learning outcomes, our curriculum requirements, and how we teach our law enforcement courses within our law enforcement academies. And so this work is now being funded by the Colorado Health Foundation. It's work that's being done over the next 3 years. And we're working closely with law enforcement academy directors and faculty and instructors, as well as community partners and the Colorado Attorney General's office. This year, we're focusing more on the review of the curriculum. Next year, we'll be focusing more on pedagogy for teaching the new learning outcomes. And then in the third year, we'll be focusing in on using what we've learned in the curriculum changes to develop continuing education training for officers that are currently in the field. The next project is our Rural College Consortium. This is linking our 6 rural colleges together. And it's got a number of aspects, one of which is kind of a technology infrastructure, trying to upgrade our technology infrastructure at our 6 rural colleges. It also has some work around facilities and infrastructure. And then what we're currently piloting, we started piloting in the spring and are continuing the pilot here in the fall, is course sharing across our rural colleges. So a student from Lamar Community College could enroll in a course at Colorado Northwestern and vice versa. And it allows greater access to a broader range of programs, courses, and support services to students across all of our rural communities in Colorado. So it's a very exciting project, one that still is just kind of getting underway, but we're hopeful to see that progress in the next several months and year. The third project is our co-requisite development in mathematics. Dan and Job will talk a little bit more about this project since he's closer to it. But essentially what we're doing is developing a set of co-requisite courses that will go along with the various gateway math courses. For instance, algebra, statistics, etc. And that will allow students to, in their first semester, take a support course along with the gateway course, and hopefully helping students complete that gateway course in that first semester. So that work is well underway. Next is our Bachelor's of Applied Science degrees. We are in the process of developing more of those degrees. We actually, through this last legislative session in the spring of 21, there was some revised legislation that made it easier for community colleges to expand BAS programming in our system. And now we'll be able to develop degrees in business administration, construction management, data sciences, teacher prep, and a bunch of other places that we would not have been able to do prior to that legislative change. So we've been working with the vice presidents initially, and we'll be engaging faculty as well in conversations around curriculum development, which areas, which BASs may we want to pursue as a system, when and how. And so what we want to make sure is that any BASs that we develop, if there's more than one institution interested, that they work on it together and have curriculum alignment, so that we don't have varying program requirements across our colleges in BAS programs. So that work is just getting started, and more to come on that. We also, of course, have our Teaching Excellence with Equity grant. This is a grant that I've spent a lot of time talking to individuals about across our colleges the last couple of years. This was originally intended to be released in April 2020, but because of the pandemic, we stopped that grant. And now we have restarted it. The deadline for grant submissions was September 17, and colleges have submitted applications for that grant, and now we're going to be reviewing them and making determinations on the amount of money going out to the colleges. But essentially the goal of this grant is to support professional development and new strategies within the classrooms. So it's meant to enhance or alter changing practices, or what happens in the classroom as it relates to pedagogy and content, hopefully in an effort to make those classroom experiences more inclusive and culturally relevant. We also have a leadership academy that just got started this year. You might have been aware of the Dean's Academy from a number of years ago. When Linda Bowman left our system, the Dean's Academy went away as well. So this past spring, Sarah Heath, along with some vice presidents, developed a new leadership academy, which is bringing in 30 individuals across the system together to learn about leadership principles, to form a strong cohort. Ultimately, we believe it's important that we train our own and grow our own leaders, so that we have a strong future cohort of leaders that will be able to help our institutions thrive in the future. Our goal, of course, would be to have more than one leadership academy. So this academy will run through next spring, and if all goes well, we would have a second academy starting next spring as well. And the last thing I'll mention is the Adult Learning Initiative. On the heels of the press release this week, we received about $1 million from the Lumina Foundation to really focus on adult learners, specifically adult learners of color. And our goal is to enhance student support, to expand our stackable credentials, and to look at culturally relevant instructional strategies aimed at helping improve outcomes for our adult students of color. So more to come on that, because it's hot off the presses, but we will also be working on that initiative this year. The last update I want to give you is related to Colorado Online. And I think many of you are well aware of Colorado Online, or at least know that something is happening with our online in our system. And so I wanted to just take an opportunity at a very high level to talk about what it is we're doing, why we're doing it, and a few of the communication strategies that we're going to have going forward. You will also see a video from Tammy Verkateren, who's our Colorado Online director, and she will provide more information, a little bit more in depth than what I'm going to provide here. So first of all, what are we doing? And I think kind of at its core, we're doing a couple of things. The first thing is we're moving instruction from CCC Online to our colleges. And so that will happen over the span of the next 2.5 to 3 years, where online instruction will move from kind of the centrally operated CCC Online to our colleges. And then all of the online courses, fully online asynchronous courses that are offered across the system, will be available to students regardless of their home college or geographic location. So a student at Otero could theoretically see a course and take a course from Arapahoe Community College, Front Range Community Colleges, et cetera. And a student from Arapahoe could likewise take a class at Otero College. At the same time, we're going to be centralizing services, supports, and functions. We don't know what all of those are going to be, but there will be some elements of support that is available centrally and available to all students and all instructors across the system, regardless of their home college or their geographic location. We really do believe that that we can leverage the strength of our community colleges and all of the good work and lessons learned from CCC Online over the past 20 years to make a really strong Colorado Online consortium, pairing it with our geographic physical locations across the state. Ultimately, the reason we're going in this direction, first and foremost, is that our current model is not okay by HLC standards. HLC is a Higher Learning Commission, and so we needed to make some changes in order to come in line with accreditation standards and expectations. So this change that we're talking about will do that. But we also want to make sure that students have equitable access to quality programs, courses, and services, regardless of their home college and of their geographic location. So we don't want to lose what students have right now, which is access to courses regardless of where they're located. We want to make sure that's in the new model, but expand that to make sure they have access to quality online programs and to quality support services that will help them be successful. So a few things that we've done to date. We've convened a project team, and this project team consists of members of CCC Online as well as folks from all across the colleges, all 13 colleges. They're representative of the colleges, but they're also representative of their functions. So we have a faculty and instructors and a registrar and a vice president, et cetera. So we're trying to get a breadth of perspective on the project team. And the project team is essentially guiding the work of the implementation of Colorado Online. At the helm are two project staff. We hired Tammy Verkateren, who many of you may know, who comes to us from Front Range. She is our Colorado Online project director. And then Chinya Russell, who is our Colorado Online project coordinator. The two of them are really kind of steering this work and making sure that we keep moving forward and keep our timeline. During the spring, we also did an external analysis of what some other states were doing as it related to consortium development. We wanted to see if there were any other models like what we were proposing. We also spent some time surveying and conducting focus groups and interviews of students to try to understand what their experience was in our online courses, whether it was a college online course or a CCC online course. We found that incredibly helpful. And that actually helped us develop maps of the student experience. What were they actually experiencing as they took those courses, as they tried to navigate the college and CCC Online? And then we convened an online faculty and instructor advisory committee to help make sure that we got the input from the faculty along the way and the instructors along the way as we implemented Colorado Online. And then we formed 5 subcommittees that will ultimately dig into the various elements of this project. They'll be starting this fall and really kind of digging in over the next several months and throughout the year. Tammy will talk a little bit more about both of these in her videos. And then my last slide, there is a lot going on with Colorado Online. And there's a lot of rumors out there. there's a lot of correct information, a lot of misinformation, and we want to make sure that we are spending time this year dedicated to communication. And so you will see a launch email of a monthly email that'll come from me that will go out to employees across the system about where we are with Colorado Online. What decisions have been made, what steps have been taken, where are we on the timeline. That'll give you a good update of where we're at. Paired with that will be a blog site that will have a lot more detail on it, because we're not going to embed all of that into an email. So we'll have a blog site that you can click on in the email and take you right out to where all of these updates are occurring. We also will continue what I started in the spring. In April, I did an open forum for anyone in the system who wanted to come in and hear more about Colorado Online and the progress that we were making, and to ask any questions that they have. So I've got another one scheduled for October and another one scheduled for February. If we need more than that, I'm more than happy to schedule more. But this is a live interactive session for ability for you to ask me questions and get a up-to-date answer of where we are with the consortium. We also will have a number of monthly meetings. Of course, the project team will continue to meet. The faculty and instructor advisory council will meet. The subcommittees will meet. We have a variety of functional groups, presidents, vice presidents, the statewide faculty advisory council, the instructor advisory council, the student advisory council. All of these groups we will give regular updates to, and ask that they feel free to share any information with their colleagues back at their campuses. And so there will also be campus-specific communication likely coming from your president or your college leadership that should occur throughout the year as well. So hopefully you're getting the sense that we're trying to figure out how do we communicate with you, but we do want these various communication pieces to also be two-way. So we want to invite folks to provide information and input and ideas, but also to ask questions that you have along the way. And to that end, I wanted to just give you our contact information, Tammy, myself, and Jinya, so that if you ever have questions along the way, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. Happy to answer any questions. And then lastly, just to mention that I am going to be out physically on each of the campuses this year. I've done this prior to the pandemic, and I'm restarting this as well. I'm hoping to be able to meet with folks when I'm out on the campuses. You can feel free while I'm there to ask any questions about Colorado Online or any of the other initiatives or anything else. So I'm hoping to get some face time with faculty, staff, and students while I'm out at each of your campuses. And so with that, I thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy your time with your faculty colleagues, and that you have a productive 2 to do. Thank you.